Good evening, all those in podcast world, and especially those listening to us live. We time for another show. We finally getting back to interviewing guests, and so we got a special guest for you this evening.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Miss Marjon.
Ooh,
See that? Look at them glasses. That's special.
that's right. You can tell.
Say hey, Tanya.
Everybody, thank you for joining in and listening to us on today.
Right. So Tanya's going to read your bio, and then we are going to jump right in with a few questions and let you tell your story. All righty.
All right, everybody, listen up, listen up. We have Miss Marjan. She's known as the Queen of Convo. Miss Marjan, she is a dynamic media personality, philanthropist, and seasoned communication specialist. Her journey in radio began with a segment on the BJ Murphy Morning Show at WGIV 103.3 FM in Charlotte, North Carolina. She later hosted the Marge and Roy Radio on WMPZ Groove 93 FM and hosted iHeartRadio's Hot Topics. Uh-oh. I like Hot Topics with Miss Bajan. Currently, she captivates audiences as a radio personality on WHFR 89.3 FM with the R&B Soul Groove Show. In podcasts and TV arena, she shines as the host and executive producer of The Convo with Miss Marjan podcast and Michigan Liberations. What is this? Respect of Roots podcast available on Xfinity, Comcast Cable, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Ms. Bajan is also the founder of Mastermind Communications LLC, a renowned agency specializing in mass media, public relations, and marketing. She has collaborated with prominent figures in the entertainment and nonprofit sectors, including Aerosmith, Kiss, Britney Spears, and Magic Johnson. All right now. Before her illustrious media career, Miss Marjan thrived as an engineer, contributing to her expertise to global giants such as Mercedes Benz, General Motors, Caterpillar, Suzuki, and Yamaha. As a proud alumna of the University of Southern California and North Carolina AT&T State University, Ms. Marjan remains actively involved in the Public Relations Society of America and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Dividing her time between her hometown of Detroit and her second home in Atlanta, Miss Marjan continues to inspire throughout her multifaceted contributions to media, communications, and community. All right, then, this dynamic woman. Welcome her, everybody.
And good evening once again. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Hey, like I tell people, I'd rather be seen than viewed.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
We as well.
Without a doubt. So the you went to you got your bachelor's at USC.
No, I got my bachelor's at North Carolina A&T.
Okay, well that's good. So HBCU.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
There
that
you
was that.
go.
You know, that was a real point of emphasis early on in our podcast that a great many of our guests are graduates of HBCUs.
Yep.
So and also another great many of them were deltas, not cap AKAs, but AK we had a few AKAs too. So kudos. So you
Good for
checking off
you.
all the boxes,
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. Check.
right?
Yeah, thank
Right.
you for that. And like you said, it's your anniversary, right?
Yes.
100,
Today. Yes.
that's
Today.
17 years.
Yes. Yes. You
Okay.
own it, Lady T.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so
First black.
so did you? Where did you go? Where did you go to high school?
I went to Mercy High School.
Oh,
I
you
was
went to
like,
Mercy.
yeah,
Okay.
Mercy High School. Yeah,
Okay,
Mercy
cool.
High School.
And then you went way out there and didn't come back to now.
Well, yeah, what it was is I went to Mercy High School and then I went to another school first. I went to
Uh-huh.
Syracuse.
Okay.
About nearly failed out of there. I tell people I'm very transparent, y'all. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna put that disclaimer on there now. I had to put that at the bottom, Damon and Lady T.
Okay.
So Um,
Mm.
I went to Syracuse, about failed out, and my parents said, "This is not working." Some people from the church that we go to, New Prospect,
Hmm.
said, "Send her down south,
Yeah.
to a HBCU, which was
Okay.
North Carolina A&T State University." Shout out to the Aggies.
Yeah.
And I went down there and finished up. Right.
Okay.
And then I waited some time, and then I went and got my master's out at University of Southern
Oh,
California, USC.
Okay.
okay. Cool. Cool. Wait,
Communications.
no shame there. Look, I just got my bachelor's in 23.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah,
hey.
so yeah, it don't matter when you get it, long as you get
There you
it.
go.
Hey, we
There
always
you
learning. We
go.
learning something every
Right,
day.
right.
I
So
know that's right.
Mm-hmm.
so how you go ahead. You got it wrote down. You go
Yeah, I just wanted to know how you got started.
I got started,
I know
man.
you got the gift of gab, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the queen. No, you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something. I fell into. I tell people a lot of times what I do now. It found me. I
ahead.
didn't
Okay.
find it.
Yeah.
And my career has been absolutely amazing. And I say that not in that it's been all exciting. It's been very eventful. Like I said, I went to North Carolina A&T State University. I was kind of like on that. I'm a generation, X, or I just turned 50.
Okay. Okay.
So just some
Good for you. Good for you. That's
tell
good.
people wherever you want me to look in that dotted and wherever I want me what screen.
You
I just
good.
turned 50. So the
Uh-huh.
thing is, I was, kind of like go to school, go to school, get yourself together, get married, have kids, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I called myself doing that. And I'm telling you, it was just a roller coaster ride, y'all. I went down to I graduated from high school and went to Syracuse for a year and about fell out. I was a music major.
Okay.
Okay.
People don't know that my major was music. I was going to learn. I was an opera singer.
Oh wow.
Didn't
Wow.
put that in my bio because
That's interesting.
yeah, I was a classically trained. I went to Center for Creative Studies for a little bit here in
Okay.
Detroit, and found out, okay, you know what? Let me go and study this thing. I didn't want to go to try to get in Juilliard because
Right.
I'm like I was a little thick sister, so I was like, if I can't sing, what am I gonna fall the heck back on? You know what I'm saying? So I went to Syracuse about 4 hours away from the city and did that and realized this ain't fame. I can't sing. I just thought I was gonna get up there and sing all the time.
Right.
Found out I was gonna have to, take all these different classes and
Classes.
failed out.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all who think you just gonna get up there and start singing, that's not how it is. You gotta take, ear training, you gotta take
Yeah.
piano and I
Yeah.
just wasn't ready
It's
for
a
that.
process. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So y'all, I left there. I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna go down south and keep all this other stuff like music, all this other stuff I like to do on the side.
Right.
'Cause my mom was like, you don't want to be homeless, right?
I know that's right. I know
So
that's right.
right. So I was like, no, it's not fun being
Smart mama.
homeless. Exactly. So I went down to North Carolina, got my degree down there in industrial engineering. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't start that immediately. I did like business. I was undecided. I mean, I was like, what the heck?
That's
And
That's
right.
how ours
my,
did.
Yeah.
Ours did
exactly.
the
My
same
mom,
thing. Mm-hmm.
right. My mom was like, you might want to try that engineering thing. And I actually had a very close friend of mine. I know you interviewed her uncle, Mr. Bradley, Tara
Mm.
Holmes, Brad Holmes' sister.
Okay.
Brad Holmes is the general manager for the Lions, but
Hmm.
Brad Holmes' sister, Tara Holmes, was like, Marjon, look, why don't you try what I'm doing, industrial engineering? I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what the heck that is, but I sound smart and good. And that was my road dog. That was one of my besties in college, still to this day.
Mm.
And in fact, she just texted me while we've been on here. But
Okay.
I did industrial engineering and started working in the industry, like
Okay.
in automotive,
Yeah.
y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I tell the young people because I'm always being asked to speak because they see my background. And I was just like, okay, after a couple of years and quitting jobs and job hopping, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, y'all.
Right. Right.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Keep this
Yeah.
clean. This is PG, right? Okay. I had to catch myself. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting at one job one day and I was like, I was looking across at my boss. I was like, just this, I'm not even gonna make it till 5 o'clock.
Wow.
I had a template for a 2 week notice. I had it on my, I was like, look at that template out and just
Right. Right.
date and the
Yeah.
name and the
That-
address and send
That's
her
how I
email
was.
because she already in her office. So it's just This ain't working. So
Mm.
after a while of doing that, I finally was like, they say you always come back to your first love,
Right. Right.
and y'all. And I keep in mind, as I was going through years and years of doing these jobs, these engineering jobs, I finally was like, I was always doing something in radio,
Hmm. Okay.
PR, communications, and finally, in like about 2013 or so, I was like, I need to go back and get my master's in this because
Right.
it's now
Mhm.
getting to the point where I'm making money and I need to do something with it.
Well, let me ask
Mhm.
you a question. You say you were always doing things in those areas. How did that come about though? How were you falling into those type jobs?
Right. Like some of the things you listed in my bio, I would always do these. I would be out doing these projects. So, like when I was in Charlotte, I
Mm.
was like, this is where it started with BJ Murphy's show. I happened just called to the radio station asking about marketing or commercials. How much I was curious, how much does it cost to get a commercial? Because I wanted to promote my business, which
Right.
was masterminds, whatever. And I
Okay.
was like, I want to let people know I not only I'm engineering, but I also do communications like public relations at the
Mhm.
time. That's what I was trying to get some clients. And they were like, are you trying to get a radio show? And I was like, radio show? You could get a radio show? I thought you had to be hot. It was like, no. Before he could even finish, I was at the radio station. I had left the job. I told him I was going on an extended lunch break. And I went to the radio station. A lot of people don't know, at least back in the day, it's kind of not like this now,
Yeah.
but you could actually pay to have a radio show. You as long as you paid for your airtime.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So I found out like for I think I had like a 30-minute show. It was about $600 a month at the time.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, so I got some of my crazy coworkers that were working in the plant and I have a knack for picking out talent. So I had picked like people I felt that would be good for radio. So literally, I had it was like four or five of us. I had a Hispanic lady on there. I had a white lady. I had one black woman who was like that Aunt Jemima kind of, like that like a Patty LaBelle auntie kind of role, and then a guy that was just really naturally funny. And we used to do it on Sunday. We did it for about 6 months, and then finally, I was like, I can't afford to keep doing this. I'm gonna
Right.
Man, us.
bankruptcy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna file
Well, yeah.
bankruptcy.
That
Well, you
was
got to do something to make you
well,
stay.
you saying 600 a month. That ain't cheap.
That was a good
Besides
start.
my rent and all that other
Right,
stuff,
right,
this is
right.
real talk, y'all. So I went to the program director. I said, "Look, let me tell you something. This ain't working, but I want to still be in radio. So what can
Mhm.
we do?" And he said, "Well, Marjon, I do the morning show because he happened to be the program director as well as the
Okay.
morning
Okay.
show host.
Yeah.
Kind of remind me of a Mason kind of
Yeah.
dude."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, "What you gonna talk about?" I said, "My weight," which is kind of like what you always talk about that when we talked offline about the 50-50-50 challenge.
Right.
I've
Mhm.
always battled with my weight. So I was like, I'll talk about my weight. And he was like, well, how is that going to be exciting on the radio? I said, I tell you what, I know how to sell it. And I said, I promise you, you let me come on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Hmm.
for 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to rock it. He was like, cool, let's do it. So he said, give me a couple of ideas, some shows. I said, well, I'll talk about, like going to the gym and drinking water. And he was like, okay. I said, okay, I'll give you an exclusive. I was on Dr. Oz. He said, bam, there we go.
Right. Right.
He was like, I was like, yeah. And that was during the time when Dr. Oz was still on TV
Right. Right.
and everything before he ran or whatever. And he was like, Marjan, I know you. I come on. So I came on, told him everybody my story about being on Dr. Oz,
Okay.
about my weight.
Mhm.
I have a knack for knowing what people want to hear
Yeah.
without lying,
Right.
but
Right.
borderline. And
Yeah.
it was a show where Dr. Oz, it was addiction to food, a
Oh,
food addiction.
okay.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I told the producers I dig in the garbage for cake. And they was like, can you get
Digging
to
the garbage.
exactly? But see, here's the thing. I won't dig in the garbage like if I throw away a piece of cake, it'll still be in the
In
plastic
the
It'll be
container
plastic.
plastic.
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
top.
Right.
But I just told them I was digging in the
That's
garbage.
right.
Uh,
That's how addicted I
let
was
me
to
You,
food.
make sure.
you got to
He asked the question too.
right. You got to sell it.
That's
There
truly
you go.
addiction.
And they was like, when can you get to New York? I was like, whenever y'all can pay me and get me there. Now, I was sold, and I went the first time, and it was like, okay, Marjan, we're not gonna be able to get you on here, but you can sit in the audience and watch the other people. And once again, studied the audience, and I finally said, I know what they want. I said, I told the producers, I said, look, I know what you want. Bring me on exclusively. And that's what they did. I came
Okay.
back, but this was the catch. They wanted me to bring my mother. Right?
Mm.
Now the Dixons know my mother, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
My mama ain't about all this TV, whatever. And I told them, I said, look, do I have to? And they was like, yeah, we got to bring somebody like from your family. I said, I can bring friends. They said, yeah, you can bring a friend, but we got to have a parent. And my dad was like, at the time he was living, he
Right.
was like, heck no, I'm not doing this.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You and your mama. So mama, I said, mama, this is all part of my like career kind of.
Okay, yeah.
She's
Start,
like, "Ooh, I
yeah.
thought you down in Alabama for engineering." I said, "But yeah, but this is something else I'm working on."
Mhm.
And so they flew us out there. Make a long story short, it was a mess. It was a hot mess because what happened was I told them I wanted to go on The Biggest Loser. They ended up sending me to some institution for a week.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad. It was pretty bad. And it was all connected with Oprah Winfrey and
Yeah.
her. She was starting her own channel. And I was just always that angry black, big
Yeah.
woman,
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
woman that
Uh-huh.
was keeping up stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
ranch. But I told them, I said, I know y'all paying me. And that was another thing. They threatened to sue me. It was a mess. But
Really?
the thing is, I got through
That
it. 'Cause
sounds like an interesting story.
yeah, that was also a whole nother episode. Exactly. But that's how I was on the radio for a year telling my story about Dr.
Really?
House because I only got like 15, 20 minutes, but
Right.
as you can see,
Mm-hmm.
you can go on and on because it was so much involved in that 1 week of being on dealing with
Right.
Dr. Oz and his people and all that. Yeah.
Right. So when you got to minute 15, had to stop. Everybody wonder, well, what happened next?
There you go. I was like, tune in on Thursday. I gotta, yeah, I gotta get it together because it triggers some negative emotions
Right.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But even to this day, because that was back in 2011
Mm-hmm.
that all this happened.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm. And
Wow.
that's how I started doing radio. Um, just storytelling. Like y'all, people want to hear stories.
Yes, they do.
And
Yes, they
people
do.
definitely, yeah, a lot of people at the time was watching Dr. Oz because he was known as this big.
Yeah.
Well, he was Oprah's Dr. Oz. So
Exactly. There you
Yeah,
go.
he
And
became,
I,
yeah.
I told him, I said, look, I'm not gonna be your little fat black rat. You gotta make sure I said that right, y'all. Keep it clean, right? Lady Tino. I'm like, they wanted me to eat a whole pile of donuts. I said, let me tell y'all something. Can I be real? Black folks don't sit here and eat a dozen donuts. What
That's
we
right.
gonna do is eat two donuts, go down the street and get that Ben and Jerry's at Kroger's. Then we're
Yeah.
gonna go back up the street and get some cake slices. See, they were like, wow.
Right. And they trying to make you sit there and look just a pig.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to cornbread, get my corn, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
you strategically
Right.
go what you
Yeah,
like.
it's just like when we bake a cake and we go back in there and get one slice. Then we'll go back an hour later get another slice.
Yeah.
Like you got your candy, go to the dollar store, get certain types of candy
Yeah.
because it's too expensive going to Walmart, whatever. But I'm just saying they was just blown away with how I was strategic. They was like, can you say that on camera? I was like, yeah, because I'm not lying. I said, now the thing is, they said, what's the worst thing you've done for food? And
Hmm.
I told them, for most embarrassing, I told them one time I went to Kroger's, and you know how Kroger's in the bakery, they got
Right.
the slices. Well, one day they didn't have the slice that I liked.
Right.
And you have to understand on Friday when my coworkers were going to happy hour, I was going to Kroger's to get my cake and then going to get my Ben and Jerry's so I could eat it
Right.
with
Right.
whatever I was
Right.
watching. And they didn't have the cake, and I about nutted up.
Mm.
So I told I went in the bakery. They said, ma'am, you not, I said, no, 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 I'm supposed to be back here because you got to cut a cake. They said, ma'am, we are, in fact, we getting ready. I said, no, 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 you don't understand. You got somebody about to cut a cake,
Wow.
a cake slice, because I got to take it because I got to go get the ice cream. I got the ice cream. Now I need you to cut the cake.
Mm. Mm.
It was like,
Mm.
ma'am, I said, no, no, you don't understand. I'm going to go back and start cutting cake. So that was all part of that show. You know what I'm saying, y'all? So
Right. Right.
that's how the radio thing kind of kicked off. And a lot of people who are going to be listening or watching this, that's how it starts out. It's usually you be thinking you're gonna make money or a career out of something that you good at. It's a weakness, and that was my thing, food. And I never thought that my story of being overweight would
Right.
catapult
Hmm.
into something like
Right.
being on Dr. Oz and then being on radio
Sure.
and be
Sure.
in communications. And it also
Hmm.
helped my communications business too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, a lot of times our weakness and overcoming our weakness is what God uses to help other people.
Exactly.
And so then you being willing to tell your story helps other people, but then at the same time it kind of lifts you up a little bit too.
Yeah, because you're
Exactly.
not alone. Somebody else does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody else does it, and
Somebody
now
else.
you don't feel bad.
Right.
Right.
You
Right. Right.
you'd be surprised some of the stuff that you think is a secret or you
I know.
embarrassed. Somebody else, is like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't have the nerve to say it, but I'm glad you
Yes.
did.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm
Right. Right.
glad. It's like saying I pick my nose, but I do it, but I don't want nobody to know.
Yes.
Or I do some other strange stuff, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yes.
Wow. So, wow. Let me ask you this. Uh, you did a little thing associated with where is it at? With iHeartRadio,
right.
right? And then you probably how did that come about?
Well, like I was saying, after getting into radio, once you get in, and you either it's like New York or what, however you want to, either you
Mm-hmm.
like it or hate it,
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
and the thing is, I loved it. I loved the radio. I love radio because you can come in your slippers and your pajamas
Yeah.
and nobody got to see. When you on the TV thing, you got to be like, oh shoot, they can see my,
Right.
or that's why
Right.
it's blurry back here. But it be you got to fix your hair, put some spray
I
on.
know.
Now, if I turn my hair in 360, you be like, whoa, wait a minute. So you gotta get some lipstick, put some foundation on, get the lights on. But
Right. Right.
you
Right.
could just be sitting there chilling.
Yeah.
So um like I said, I started with BJ and then did another run in Chattanooga, and that's where I was paying for my radio station with
Mm-hmm.
Ray. That ended up being a good run once again. And then from there, got into iHeart. Well, first of all, before I got to iHeart, shout out to Henry Ford College. I started there,
Okay.
took some classes. A lot of people don't have no clue that Henry Ford College has a radio station, and
Mm-hmm.
that's 89.3.
Okay.
And I started there and I said, okay, you know what? This way I don't have to worry about any pressure. I can practice and get, and learn the behind the scenes stuff. And so I did
Mhm.
that for a couple of years and then became good at it and then got a job with iHeart.
Okay.
And iHeart, a lot of people don't know iHeart consists of like 5 radio stations here in the Metro Detroit area.
Okay.
So I was doing sound engineering because
Okay.
I was, and see, this is where I tell young folks, y'all, or old folks, or any folk, this is where you use your transferable skills.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because I'm gonna tell you, they thought because I was an engineer, I was gonna be able to learn real quick, but I was coming in like, what's that button for? What do you mean dead air? I didn't do that. They like
All
Marjon.
you did was talk.
I was like, what? They were like, ah. And so they were like, I thought you. I said, look. You assume that. I said, look, I still count on my fingers. I don't know all this beep. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't have to edit that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I eventually learned, like I said, I don't have much time. I gotta hurry up and learn my way around because, and that's one thing I'm good at. I'm able to get my foot in the door and then see where I'm
Right.
needed or where else I can work. So
Right.
I
Right.
did the sound engineering stuff at iHeart, but also I would do some voiceover and stuff like that. And radio is so hard to get into. Everybody
And
knows
we
that.
were just
Uh,
wondering. Yeah, I was just wondering that. I was like,
It,
oh
it
my
I
goodness.
It was very hard. And unfortunately, in 2020, during COVID, that's when a lot of us got laid off. And
Right.
even as a
Mhm.
sound engineer. Now, one of the things I did is I went from sound engineering at the same time I would sound engineer, and then I would also do promotions.
Okay.
That was one
Okay.
area I said I'm gonna rock that, and I did that for a little bit with them, and also Foodie,
Mm-hmm.
Donna Faye, rest in peace to Donna Faye.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned from some of these guys. I would sit in while Foodie was doing his stuff on Sunday
Okay.
nights, and then at the Breakfast Club, I would produce their show on Saturdays because and what that means is that they were coming in through satellite from New York. It
Uh-huh.
was
Okay.
recorded, but I was the one running the board to make
Okay.
sure everything ran right
Okay.
here in Detroit. So I started kind of in radio, you ain't no such thing as this is what I'm getting. No, you literally wear multiple hats.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what
Or else you
Brandis is.
just
That's what Brandis is doing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Brandis is yeah. And you learn how to pivot. When people come in talking crazy, you just be like, okay,
Okay.
you that's why I say you love it or hate it because you meet so many characters in this type of work. Even
Right.
what
No
y'all are
doubt.
doing. You
Yeah.
meet people that ain't you be thinking like, oh, I thought you normal. No, no. It's no Mondays,
Right,
Monday and
right.
Tuesday.
You remind me so much of that movie with Wendy Williams. Because soon as I seen where their personality is and how, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she made me think of Wendy. You know,
Yeah, Wendy, yes,
because
yes.
she was a firecracker when she started, and she just she was humiliated, offending people, and all kinds of stuff. But
And you hit on something, Lady T. Let me tell you something, Damon and Lady T. That is you just hit on something real quick.
okay,
I do believe that I hate to say this, in this type of medium or
Hmm.
media,
Yeah.
if you're willing to do certain things like that, you can make a lot of money, more money.
hmm
And I've seen it. I wasn't willing to do that. I didn't want to be one of these like the Queen of Convo, but the one that says, "So, tell me, did you sleep with blah blah blah
I
blah?
know.
And get a reaction?" No,
Right,
I've been
right.
more of the type of person or that interviews people to tell their story.
Right.
Story.
So,
That's right.
like how y'all are
Yeah.
doing, and which
Yeah.
is phenomenal. And I commend y'all both for what you're doing. And
Thank you.
thank you. Because a lot of times people don't thank you because this is a way for me and other people get their brand out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right.
because like you says on YouTube, it is.
Yeah.
You don't know who it could be somebody over in Spain watching this. You'd
Right.
be surprised. You'd be like, oh, just people here. No, people all, especially overseas,
Overseas, yeah,
they
over
Yeah.
there,
appreciate
yeah,
Right. They love
yeah,
watching stuff.
because
yeah,
they do some crazy.
right. And just going back to Damon's thing, I after I heart getting laid off, like I
Mm.
told you before, you end up coming back to your first love. I
Right.
went back 89.3.
Okay.
And I'm glad I didn't burn my bridges too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
get in a lot of trouble with them because I tend to do stuff and apologize later.
But at least you
So
apologize.
See, that's
I'd be
that
like, oh,
radio personality.
I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. They was like, Marjon, it's on the wall. I said, that was now y'all put that up because of me. Oh boy, it's so
Stop
much.
knocking my headset off.
I know. That door, Lady T, that's all good. It's just like that, y'all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I said, it's been as I've been working like maybe a full-time job, I've always had that thing that love for some form of communications, entertainment,
Hmm.
podcasting, music show, like how y'all, do your music show or how Damon does the music show and
Right.
Mhm.
and
Right.
and I have a love for music, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
And y'all
Right.
know that.
That's
And
right.
hey, it is what it is. But sometimes it's you got to have something else to pay the bills because
Mhm.
That's right. That's right.
you
Because
know
you never know.
you don't want to be sitting here doing a show and then the lights cut off.
So how do you stay motivated, Marjana?
Gotta do
And productive.
gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying, Mama? And I tell her I thank her for that because sometimes I gotta, because as of now, I am working in communications full time.
Okay.
Mhm.
I know
Okay.
I hung up the engineering hat for at least this year.
Okay.
And that's the thing, I pivot. And that's why
Mhm.
not only they call me the Queen of Convo, which was they named me that at the studio that I work
Okay.
out, but also I I'm the unconventional female too. I like to do things a little different
Yeah. Yeah. Well, different is good sometimes.
in a good way, in a good
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
one.
And be clear,
So,
we'll clean that up.
right, that's right. So one of the things that we talked about before we came on last year, you did your 50-50-50 challenge. And it's funny because 2 weeks ago, Brandis and I were talking about resolutions and how people keep them, break them, and the motivation behind all that.
Right.
Share that with us.
Well, first of all, the 50-50-50 kind of dealt with not only turning 50 years old in November, also losing 50 pounds. Because I'm very transparent and I told everybody my story last year in April. I had gastric bypass surgery.
Mhm.
So it was one of those things where I tell people, and I've been vlogging or videoing it since I
Right.
started
Yeah.
because I knew it was going to be a really heavy hitter. The only problem is now I got to package it up and get it out there.
Sure.
But
Sure.
so y'all getting me at a good time. So the thing is, last year had the surgery, and up till about November, I had lost 50 pounds.
Hmm.
I'm like, dang, 50 years old, 50 pounds, and then I incorporated 50 cool things.
Hmm.
And it ended up being like I tried to do 50 things within 50 days,
Right.
Mhm.
but it ended up being almost 50 things throughout the year because
Okay.
it's hard doing 50 cool things in 50 days.
Right.
Some
Right.
days I
Right.
didn't
Right.
feel like doing a doggone. I almost count myself. I didn't feel like, you know what I'm saying, getting on
Yeah,
nobody's
exactly.
live because I was having a bad day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but with it, y'all, was all centered around my weight loss journey, y'all.
Okay.
And I tell people I had been through so many different consultations, and my doctor basically came in the room one day and was like, if you don't lose weight, forget being dead, you're gonna be on dialysis. And I don't know why,
Hmm.
and no shade to anybody on dialysis, but everybody
Mhm.
has a different trigger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure.
But for
Sure.
some reason, I just kept thinking about who gonna take me to dialysis, who
Right.
gonna pick me up. Mama barely can drive around the corner. I'm just playing, Mama. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just like I can't go to DeVita. What is it called, DeVita
Yeah.
dialysis?
Right.
I where am I? And then you're there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I said that was it. I said no, I can't. And then you have to keep in mind I was dealing with diabetes, high blood pressure, acid reflux, sleep apnea.
Hmm.
It just kept piling up, and my doctor was like, "Aren't you? What are we gonna do here?" I was like, "What's the problem?" I was kind of Wendy Williams in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, how you doing?
yeah.
What's the problem? What's happening? So finally I said, you know what, it was all part of, like, Damien, you said the 50-50-50. It was part of like self-care
Hmm.
Mhm.
and empowering myself. But at the same time, as I started telling my story, I started empowering others
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and didn't even realize how people started coming out the woodworks. Hey, I had the surgery too. I'm like, what? You did?
Yeah.
I don't tell nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Right.
And then other people like, hey, I'm thinking about it. Don't tell nobody. And I'm thinking about having a tummy tuck. I'm like, whatever works, whatever works, whatever you want to tuck. I'll leave that there.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Whatever you want to tuck, that's your business. But it just ended up being I guess a platform for people to get inspired. So every time I'm getting ready to quit, and I was
Mm.
like, the heck with this, I'm tired. Somebody will come to me and say, I liked your video really inspired
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So
So,
that's where that 50-50 came from.
okay.
And now I'm on a whole nother challenge.
Yeah. But I want to say a couple things real quick because in your 50 fun things, you did karaoke,
Yeah.
you did stand up comedy.
Comedy. Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what?
And
I'm sure there were some other things that you considered crazy that you forced yourself to get up and do.
right. Now you mentioned, like you said, karaoke, there's the singing, like as you know,
Right.
that makes sense. But
Mhm.
um it was just also an opportunity for people who I've known for years through entertainment, whatever, they came out and
Okay.
got on the mic. With the stand up, that was something people, people say, you funny, you need to do,
I
you missed
know.
your
I know.
calling. You missed your calling as comedy. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna find a amateur night or something. Now the funny thing is, we went down to one mic and they were closed.
Mm.
Me and a friend, a colleague, a
Mm-hmm.
friend of mine. In fact, his girlfriend is my client, and it was closed. And we was like, okay, well, and he was like, you know what? I got a flyer for another open mic tonight.
Okay.
I'm like, man, you know what? That ain't that Dinky. So we went over to Woodbridge Pub
Okay.
and did it. And totally different crowd. Because the first crowd, one mic is predominantly black.
Right.
We was ready. We was like, we gonna say this, we gonna say that, ha ha ha. Gonna be like fun. When we got over to Woodbridge, it was like, ugh. So he was like, what you gonna talk about? I was like, I have no idea because my material just changed. You know what I'm saying? Because I know
Right.
half these people, I
Yeah.
don't even know what to say.
Right. Right.
And keeping in mind, we're dealing with the election too.
Exactly.
at the time,
You
between
want to be able to get home.
right. And you had to be real careful about race. So
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I started my set out with, I told everybody, I said, I want to thank you. I miss Marjon. I'm gonna start my set out different than most comedians. And they, everybody looking at me. I said, I'm gonna sing an old Negro spiritual. And they were like, and I did like Lion King,
Uh-huh.
like a Lion King, like, the day, yeah. They were like, and I was like, I don't even know the rest of the words. I said, you
But
don't
I
know what
know.
they say. Lion King, the Lion King. That's like,
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
you don't know what they say. I said, y'all think I know? I don't know. Do you? It just, and after that, it was good. But it was like a 4-minute set.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Negro.
That is brave.
Yeah, exactly.
That is brave. Because, like you said, we used to say that about one of my girlfriends, too. And then she got into it and she started saying, dang, you got to take classes and everything. You got to be able to. I was like, girl, what? She said, girl, I thought I could just get up there.
Right. They want to teach you how to be a comedian.
Exactly. Now I thought about taking an improv class
Mm.
because after I said, but you know what? I want to at least get up there first to see what it's like.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
can honestly say I can see why you might need to take a class, but it's like one of
Mm-hmm.
the things, like I said earlier, it's like New York, either you love it or you hate it, either you're good or you're not. Because you can take as many classes as you want, just like with DJing
Yeah.
and any other thing.
Yeah,
And you
anything.
can learn how to do certain things, but it's having the art and the
Yeah.
passion
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
got to be there. Like I realized just doing it that one time that maybe being like a stand up is not my thing, but improv would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Improv.
Damon used to
And
love watching
Right.
improv.
Because
Mm-hmm.
comedy, just because you're funny to your friends, and when we just sitting around talking, does not mean you can stand in front of some
Right.
people and tell jokes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
right,
whole different thing.
right. My mama used to say, everybody don't find you funny.
Right.
You know, like just because your family find you funny, you get in front of people and they like boo, boo, boo.
I know.
And then
especially,
what do you do
especially
then?
if
And then I went up there. You have to keep in mind, like I saw one guy, pull out his phone, and he was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna use that. Scratch that." And I'm like, "Okay." He was trying different,
yeah,
material.
right, right.
And I'm like, wow, okay. And I said with me, I probably should have maybe used my notes section on my phone to do like a couple of topics. I did talk about weight, like the surgery, but by the time I finished that Negro spiritual opening, I was so distracted by and you also got to take in
Yes.
mind people are talking, they drinking, they not
Right,
paying no
right.
mind, they don't quiet down for you to just
Mm-hmm.
do your
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
I was a little distracted. I ain't gonna say I had, ADD or ADHD, but it was something
Mm-hmm.
working where I was just like, oh, I had the surgery and I pooped my pants. And they were just like, I was like, okay, I was like, never mind. Okay.
That's too much. That's too
And
You
that
say,
came out wrong.
that's my time.
That's my time. Thank you. I miss Marjon.
But Dion
Oops.
Cole, there's a couple others do it now, but when they do that, they have a set where they come up with a notepad and a pen, and then they just tell the joke, and they
Mhm.
look around and say, "Okay, that's not funny," and just
Right.
do it like that,
Right.
like you testing jokes when really that's his routine. But he make like he test because it seems funny when it's like you testing the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Back.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Marjon, did you get any criticism or feedback after that night?
You know what? Everybody that came up to us said they loved it. Me and
Okay.
another guy, he did his set. Now, like I said, unconventional female. So my colleague actually he served time in prison. Shout out to Leon.
Uh,
I ain't tell my government name, but he served like 24 years in prison. And out of the 24 years, 10 years was in solitary confinement.
Wow.
wow.
So his thing was funny because first of all, when he told his intro, people were like, "Wow!"
Right.
Like because it's like, and then the fact he said that it was for murder and he was exonerated, so
Mm.
he served time, somebody else's time.
Wow.
He wasn't even. It was mistaken identity, but he served 24 years, and of that 24, 10 was in solitary confinement.
Wow.
Now, Leon has been on my podcast before as well, and we talked about it on a serious note,
Sure.
but him telling it from a comedy,
Comment,
Yeah.
yeah.
oh, I was screaming because he was like, he'd be up in solitary confinement, have like he'd be like, "Hey y'all, what's up?" And they'd be like, "Shut up." He's like he do concerts, he do requests. Anybody got a request? They're like, "Shut up." Okay, I'll come back in 10 minutes because we here all 10 years, you know.
Right,
It's not
right.
about I'll come back in 5 minutes. I'll come back. He said, that's all right, I'll come back. So that's how he kind of made it through. Cause I can
Yeah,
and he talked a little bit about being in solitary confinement and how it was like the equivalent of being in your bathroom.
yeah, yeah.
And how he dropped the album. He did like a Chico DeBarge thing. He dropped the whole album. I don't know what happened to him. He dropping albums and
Right,
Oh
right.
yeah.
Wow.
oh yeah.
You
So
ain't
yeah,
got
that
nothing
was
but time in there.
exactly. So yeah, Deb, you're right. The 50 cool things. That was one. Those were two big ones. There, of course, there was some other ones that were through the roof. Like I started off the year last year going to Aruba. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
And also I talk about, getting like therapy, self-care. I go see a therapist. I saw her today. I saw my therapist today. I tell people she's my therapist slash life coach. So
Okay.
it's a little bit more detailed, like
Mm-hmm.
not only does she listen to me, she gives me homework
Oh, okay.
and goals, make me set
Yeah.
goals. So I already
Right.
set my goals for 2025, y'all. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep. So
So
that
you
was
so something to hold you accountable to doing what you say you want to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because especially, when you have weight loss surgery, for example, they do require you to see a psychiatrist. I guess you
Yeah.
want to make sure you ain't gonna nut up
Mm-hmm.
but even that's not enough. They
Right.
only require it, for you to see a psychiatrist before you have the surgery one time.
Hmm.
But imagine I made sure I saw somebody before and I'm still seeing her
Right.
after
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
because some days I'm not good, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good. And I have to be real and honest with you. When I say I'm not good, let me be specific because some people say, girl, she was on there talking about she about to go crazy.
Yeah.
That's why she was acting funny on Sunday. No, but what it was is it's just some days, because for a lot of people don't know this that you transfer one addiction to the other. Like
Sure.
so some people who have weight loss surgery will go from losing all this weight and you like, yeah, I'm sexy, I'm good. Next thing you know, you're alcoholic
Mm.
because you didn't really
Yeah,
address
transferred
the
it.
issue,
Yeah.
the root
Mm-hmm.
cause. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So that's why I'm in my life coach therapy thing kind of thing
Yeah,
going
but
on.
you know what? A lot of the millennials that we have on there, they do therapy all the time.
Right.
A lot of them.
Right.
Yeah. They
Mm-hmm.
do something that us baby boomers think would have thought would have been crazy.
Right.
Ain't no way we going. Baby boomers for the most part ain't going to see nobody unless they forced to do it.
Exactly.
Because we
Exactly.
because just put a band-aid on it and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we
Drink some Robitussin. Remember,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
say you'll be all right. Go
You'll be
lay
all
down. Go
right.
take a
Yeah.
nap.
Yeah.
Keep living.
All right.
Keep
Living.
living.
Right.
And
Go
and
take a nap. Right.
But
go
now,
take a nap.
now
Sleep it
mental
off.
illness is through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go have some burners. You'll be all right.
Okay. So while before we get because we getting close to out of time. Uh, I'm gonna ask you this question. I didn't prep you for this question, and I just thought about it because whatever. No, we always ask the guests on the show. The show is things my mother never told me.
Right.
Is there anything that you can think about that has impacted your life that your mother never told you about, didn't prepare you for?
Right. That is a good one. Oh man. Oh boy, I gotta keep it clean. But no, relationships probably. I'm just kidding, y'all. We keep it clean all the time. It's so funny. It's certain things now. It's funny you mentioned that. Me and my mom, we watch TV together. We stay together, and it's like it'll be certain like scenes. Like I'm just blown away at how raw and real they are on regular TV. And I'll be like, Mama, I didn't learn that in my birds and bees class. That she was like, Mari, stop. Just stop. She said, I don't even know what they're doing. What is that? What is she doing? What is he doing? She's like, Marge, just leave it alone. So I think now it's just you said things my mother never told me. I mean, definitely relationships,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mine too.
you know it. I don't
Yeah.
have any kids, y'all. So I'm barely making it. I'm in a relationship now, but Lord knows it's certain things I'm like, Mom, what in the world? This is 2024. It's different than back when you was dating dad and all that.
Right, 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 right. Yeah.
Time change. It's now women and y'all, that's the uncut things my mother told me. Yeah.
I know.
Women paying for stuff and
Yeah.
women calling you talking about who are you? Oh, I'm his baby mama. Well, I told one lady, I said, look, ma'am, I am not, you're not gonna come shoot up my car, me. You can have him first. And then I start talking crazy. I said, but first of all, what do you do for a living? She said, what? I'm like, maybe we can work. And she's like, I'm carrying this baby. I was like, well, girl, make sure you rub your belly with some oil. You sound like you
I
really
know.
packed
Put some
up
extra.
some castor oil. She said, she called me out my name. I said, well, hey, I rather that than you come shoot me because I don't know who I mean, I just be talking crazy because you know what, nowadays going off on people don't work.
It sure don't, because like you said, they think they can go off on you too, but
All right, I'll kill you. You be like, no, I'm a
I
butterfly.
won't
You
do
can't kill me. I'm a cat. I'm gonna come back.
that.
You gotta talk crazy with craziness. So
Right. Re-
yeah, but relationships.
okay. Okay. Yeah, that's been one of the ones we had.
Yeah, because
Re-
like I was telling them, my mother was married 6 times
Oh, really? That's a
and married
whole
one of them twice.
right. See what I'm saying? And see, that's another thing. Now we're not even getting to think about it. We're going to more funerals than weddings now.
yes. Yes.
So it's good luck. And I mean, and I know people who, in my line of work that'll marry or date anybody, literally, you
Mm.
know. I hate to say that. It used to be, the male, female, and I know this is another episode, I'm gonna keep it clean. But now they're dating, it's like, what is that? I don't even know what pronoun to associate with that.
I know.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, okay, whoa,
I
wait.
say, look, what once it come to the surface, they just put a name to it. You be like,
It's
that
like,
mean
what?
that?
It seems a lot is going on here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But relationships is one of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's been
and money,
redefined.
And
money.
money. And money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say a quick
Yeah.
shout out to a couple people: Joyce Laverne and DJ Queen Blast. Hey, how y'all doing? They out there
Hey,
watching. But right. So
Wow.
we want to jump to one more thing because we almost at the end. Right. That's what I'm looking at. You said that you worked with a few collaborated with a couple prominent figures. You listed Aerosmith, Kiss, Britney Spears, and the Magic Man. How did that come about, or how was it? What was it like?
yeah, actually, that's when I lived in LA. I lived in LA for about 3 years,
Okay.
y'all. And
Mm-hmm.
that was during one of those times I was working. I'm honest to God, y'all. No shade on Chrysler or Stellantis or whatever. They got a different name every year.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was Chrysler. I was sitting there. I was like, I just had a crisis or a midlife crisis. I was like, I gotta try something I never did before, and I moved to LA. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
I had two of my little gay male friends because I knew they was crazy enough to drive me out there, and I'm not. I'm shout out to them. I only said that because I'm being silly, but they were crazy enough. They drew me out. They drove me out there, and they fought the whole time. I'm thinking this was going to be a really exciting trip. It was 4 days of hell. And so they drove me out there and we stayed for a little bit and then they came back to Detroit. But I was out there for 3 years. I worked in the entertainment industry as an event planner.
Okay.
That's how I made my living. And so I would do like parties. I was like hired at a lot of people don't know this in Inglewood, the
Mm-hmm.
Forum.
The form. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was the event planner there. So Magic Johnson would come through, bring shows. That's just a small. Imagine I've worked with so many celebrities, and like Britney Spears. See, people would come in and bring their tours. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't know they need a place to practice and build, like hire the dancers, the musicians, and they used our. At the time, the Forum was like historic. For those who know
Mm-hmm.
LA. And shout out to all those I know. Dealing with that all the issues going on with the fire and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
some people who've actually lost their homes.
Yes.
And what happened was they would come, like Britney Spears would come and do her, they formed their show. Stevie Wonder would have a Christmas show there every year with his church. So it was always people coming.
Wow.
and doing movie sets too,
Hmm.
because like I said, the Forum was a historical site at the time. The Staples Center, which has changed names, had so many teams like the Clippers,
Lakers
what else,
and
the
so forth.
Lakers and
Yeah.
all that,
Right.
and the Ice and all the other stuff. So their changeover, they didn't have time to have like rehearsals. It was usually big name celebrities that would come there, so they would always come through my place, and I would help. You know, I mean, I did everything. I would hire the ticket takers, the fire people, the medics, all that, and work with the ticket master people. So I literally had to be like multitasking everything. So
Right.
yep.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
mm.
You sure are the Jackie of all trades.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Master of
The
some.
Jackie.
Yeah. I don't say none of some. Right. Exactly, Lady T. You got it.
Right. Right.
That is amazing.
That is, yeah, it is a
And
lot
all you
of
did was
stuff.
come out there, dropped off, said you wanted to do something different, and boy,
And let me tell you something, y'all. With life, this is just anybody listening, watching. If there's something that like with this new year starting out, that you supposed to be doing or have a little idea, just do it.
Yeah.
Because if it don't work out, you just at least you can say, at least I tried.
Right.
And that's my thing. I'm always strategizing, and my mother is my voice of reason.
Mhm.
Um, so if I think of something, she'd be like, "You gonna get hurt if you do that." I'm like, "Yeah, I need to think that through." Yeah. So I mean, even when I was heavier, I'm still on my journey. I got 30 pounds to lose, but even when I was a heavy set chick, I would do zip lining, I'd do parasailing. I'd be like, I think I want to do hang gliding. I'm like, oh, let me come back to that. Wait, maybe a limit, but I just would
Yeah.
try it,
Right.
and so
you
hey,
you
try it.
you like one of our other friends. I mean, but she in her 80s, and
Oh
she just
yeah.
went,
Yeah.
skydiving.
Went skydiving
Yeah,
last year. Yeah.
exactly. That's why
You
she's
in
still here.
Vegas skydiving?
But guess what? That's probably why she's still here
Uh
because
huh.
she's
I'm
not
telling
idle.
you,
She's
she
living
was
life.
a.
Right. 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 So
That's
what you got your hands deep into right now?
right now. Well, besides doing, everybody can check out, on social media. I'm on social media, the official Miss Marjon. They can go. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. But the thing is, right now, I'm working on just telling my story. Losing, we did the 50-50 already, y'all. So now
Mhm.
it's the 30-40. It keeps going up. It's women is 30, and then now it's 40. I hope it don't go back to 50. You know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying?
Right.
So that's where I'm at right there.
Ooh.
Also, still podcasting, y'all, for my clients. Just did an amazing 3 seasons of Respect the Roots, which you read off, Damon,
Mhm.
and it is going so well that I just submitted paperwork looking to be nominated for an Emmy for
Okay.
that. That's how bad we are doing it on the
Congratulations.
podcasting. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right.
Yeah, because I started podcasting when it first came out with iHeart. Because when I realized I couldn't get on the radio, I was like, I'm gonna figure out something else. So I started doing a podcast. That was the hot topics, and I did Miss Marjon, the convo with Miss Marjon through iHeart because I realized if I wait for them to let me on the radio, I'll be 80. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
opened up my own opportunities.
There
So
you go. There you
that's what
go.
I'm working on now. Y'all, please follow me, tell my story. Anything y'all need from me, let me know. I just don't have no money. You gotta be clear because folks be
That's what about. Look,
asking.
that's what my mother told me. You can borrow anything but money.
That's it. And as Les Brown said, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's right. That's right. That's the only way you can get them to understand. To stick to it.
I was gonna ask you what advice you would give somebody starting out in this industry, but you did so many.
Yeah, yeah. Just do it. That's the advice.
Do
Just
it.
start. Just start. Just start. There, I think Joe Osteen real quick said it best. There's no manual. There's no. Just do it. Fake it till you make it. And he
Yeah.
kind of was talking about himself. He was like, after his dad died, he was like, I
He
didn't.
right. I ain't doing this.
I
Yeah,
don't know what. And you see now,
I
everybody's
know.
running to the TV to watch him.
Right. Yeah, because he did say that when they put him out there in front of the people, he didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
He was not
Yeah,
ready for that.
right. Just fake. It's like these glasses. If they don't work, put on some other ones. I just, you know what I'm saying? And another thing I had to learn, y'all, real quick. don't worry what other people gonna say, because people
Right.
gonna you got people who say these are ugly, but
Hmm.
what you do you like them?
I love
Right.
them.
Yeah.
You
I'm a
know what
black
I'm
and
saying?
white girl
That's right.
too.
That's
Right,
right.
like, and I have to say to myself, do I like? I got my little right here. Okay, I
Hmm.
like them. That's all that matters. But
That's all that
sometimes we
matters.
so busy trying to conform to what other people
I
want.
know, and that's why they say don't tell other people your plans.
Right.
You know,
Well,
because
right. Other people spend so much time shooting down your plans and ideas, they don't have any for themselves.
Right, right. The Debbie Downers, the
Yeah. Yeah. Take some
what's it
time
called?
to fix yourself and then,
The
yeah.
dream snatchers.
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. Without a doubt. Yeah.
that envy and jealousy though, it stretches a long way.
Right, right.
Right. Well, if nothing else, if you like you said, if you got a dream, you got an idea, you got a talent, you got something, then you need to go and explore it.
Yeah, and ain't nothing can stop it
Exactly.
either once you get it.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know.
because we've told people before. I mean, if you don't do it today, 5 years from now, you'll be 5 years removed from where you could have been.
Exactly.
As to be still sitting, you still sitting in the same
Mhm.
place, not having tried.
Exactly. And you know, when you try, you at least can honestly say, like, for example, if somebody ever said to me, what's something that you tried that you don't, like, for example, I know I am not a good director. I'm not a good video person when it comes
Mhm.
to TV, film. So that's why even with my podcast, I'll do like board stuff. But if you ask me to go out with a camera or to direct, I'm not your girl. I'm okay with editing. I'm really good at producing and a little bit of writing, but I
Okay.
had to do it all. And so
Hmm.
that's why I tell you, just do it. I learned
Mhm.
the hard way. Somebody said, well, how do you know you're not good at camera? Because the camera would be people like, why is it shaking? That's me. Or okay, go over here. Oh no, go over there. I couldn't get it. It's just like certain things. Like I'm not good at decorating, but I,
Yeah.
I like certain things, and I
Mhm.
keep it at that, and it's okay.
Right. Well, like, I found out I wasn't good at videoing with at least my daughter's basketball games
Exactly.
because
Stay in your lane.
I would be videoing the game and I would be critiquing the players.
Okay, see what I'm saying?
And so
I didn't
now,
even know it.
right, well, when thinking about it, and so then when the parent, it dawned on me when the parents said, "Oh, you took the video, let me see it." And I thought about it. Oh, it didn't come out
Right.
because you don't want to hear what I said about your child.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. That
yeah,
part.
yeah,
At least
yeah,
you know it.
right, right. So I'll leave that video to
Yeah,
somebody else.
just like
Exactly.
starting this video.
Exactly.
Well, at least this one requires that I have to talk. So
Right.
now I know whatever I said was meant to be said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Absolutely.
minute. That's debatable.
Right. So that's good. Well, look, we ain't. You got anything else you want to share with the folks?
Oh.
So if you want to reach out to me, there's something you want to get into podcasting, hey, the Dixons, if you need anything from me, hey, just reach out to me through social media. Like I said, I'm at the official Miss Marjon, because I had to put it like that, y'all, for the branding purposes. Also, you'd be surprised how many Marjons there
Yeah,
are
I don't
over
know.
in Iraq, whatever. I searched Marjan one time. It was so many women, just like, just
I know.
all shapes. I'm not,
I know, just like a John Smith.
like, wait a minute. I thought I had something unique, but
Right.
no.
There is no unless you make the name up, and even then somebody else gonna have it.
I know because
Somebody
my
else
name,
out
I
there.
found somebody that spelled my name exactly like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably got
Right.
Dixon too behind it.
Look,
That's
I
what I'm
went I
saying.
went and did a Google search on my name years ago,
Damon did
and
pretty.
my entire name, first, middle, and last name, and 13 names came up
That's what I'm
across the
trying to tell you.
country, but none of them were me.
Right. That part.
See, and I'm like, okay, well,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, no, let's not get this. Yeah. You know
yeah,
how
yeah.
it is. There's somebody, unfortunately, there's people all over different places. They ain't got nothing to do. So they like, I think I'm gonna be Damon Dixon today.
Now you
I'm gonna
probably
leave that
right
alone. I'm
about
gonna
that.
send somebody. Sure. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, but
yeah.
you are so creative, I tell you. I
I
can't get
appreciate it. And I
over. I said,
commend
what
y'all
does
for what
that
y'all do.
process look like? Because I'm like, oh my God.
What'd you say, Lady G? What'd
I
you say?
said, what does that creative process look like? Because I'm
Oh,
telling you, you have done so much stuff.
that's a
How do you
whole
even
nother
come
episode.
up?
That's a whole, and we could talk about, and we could go into further stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stuff. Anything you guys want to talk about, or anything y'all want to talk about out there,
Yeah, that's how he is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm the same way. If I see something I like, I'm like, I'm gonna learn it, or at least learn about it.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Like I said, the movie thing was the prime example. I took classes from the beginning to the end,
Hmm.
and that was another reason for going out to LA, because I'm like, after I learned it so much here in Michigan, I was like, I need to go out there. And I went,
Mm-hmm.
and also I didn't talk about I lived 7 years in Atlanta. See, that's a whole other thing. I used to live I'd be sitting someplace like, okay, I'm about to quit and move. Like you said, your mother's six different. Okay, I need to talk.
Baby,
I need to
yeah.
get her. We need to get her back on here and do some Q&A, because I would be like, I'd just be switching cities though, city to state. I'd be like, okay, I think I'm gonna go to
My
Atlanta.
mother married every man she met. Every
Oh boy,
boyfriend she married her.
That's the uncut version.
I know. That's the
But
uncover.
I got some questions myself.
God rest her. She rest in peace. Because I
Oh
know she
man, we ain't
turning
got no
over, I
shame in
tell
each
you.
other. Oh man,
Woo, me and my sister, yeah. She
Yeah,
was something.
that's crazy.
it's not like you out at the grocery store and said she looks like. Nah, you know it ain't like that. Like Lady T, it ain't like we look a lot alike.
No, I don't know, but everybody was saying, you know, you look just like your mom. I was like, who?
Right, 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 right.
Hmm.
They was okay. Wrap it
Yeah,
up.
down south is just the worst part. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well,
John, it was so
right. We thank you for coming
glad you
on and
came
talking,
on
sharing
tonight.
with us.
Yeah, thank
You
you for
got my
having
cheeks
me
hurting,
on.
girl.
Yeah, an hour ain't enough for you.
Mm.
Ah, let me tell you, I was on yesterday, y'all, and I was only gonna do it for 10 minutes. It ended up being an hour because one of my friends, I brought her on live.
Okay.
She's from California, so we was talking about the fires out there. Because I
Yeah.
said I kind of went deep, and I can tell I pissed a couple people off.
Uh,
I'll just say this. I know somebody that lost a house, but I'm like, your dad is a millionaire. So, and some people were like, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you lost your house. I said, but hell, he could have a concert and recoup all the money for Altadena. So
I
it was,
know that's just like a Beyonce losing theirs or something. You know, seriously, it's just
you
like
see what I'm
something
saying? And I'm like,
goes
and then
on.
the request that he sent out to us was like, it wasn't just, he wasn't asking for money. Like I said, as far as
Mm-hmm.
I had to tell y'all offline, because if
yeah.
I tell you, I have to, I'm
Start
just,
all over
you be
I
like,
know. I
but
know.
that night, but it was just one of those things where it was like some of the requests was little Hollywood or
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood. It was like we need people to as we tell you what we lost to dictate. I'm like, I'm not gonna dictate. Like, what kind of request? See what I'm saying? I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet.
I already know because I was up there. I was on my next point.
I'm not telling
Just
y'all
thinking it.
that y'all. If you still recording, but see, this is
Well, yeah,
offline.
we still recording.
Oh, okay.
We
Yeah,
still recording.
I know some people like, who's the person? Oh, if I told you who it was, it'd blow your mind. And I just was kind of like, I'll help out, but I'm not about okay, I'll decide
Well, that's a different world from here.
exactly.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
different
It's
world.
you meet, let me tell you something. Now I know there's another episode. Another thing about celebrities, there's certain celebrities that I would like just be like in awe, like I had to meet them, and then when I would meet them, I'd be like, you got to be kidding
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
And you realize they're just humans,
They're
just
just
like us,
people. They're just
just
people.
people,
And
just like
yeah, I learned years ago that sometimes, it's not all the time, but maybe most of the time, the people who are the most successful and the most driven got the deepest, darkest past that you want to see, and a lot of them
ask
have
P
not
Diddy,
have not resolved that thing, and
ask
so
P Diddy,
yeah, and yeah,
ask P Diddy.
Yeah,
and so
especially
and
after
and
they
and,
die,
All that
and,
you
baby
and
find
oil.
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because they haven't resolved it, when it comes out, everybody looking at them cross-eyed because they go from way up here to way down here. R. Kelly, they don't resolve that issue, and that issue destroys them.
Exactly.
It ultimately
Yeah.
destroys them,
Yeah. And
and
I'll
then
just you hit it on the nail, Damon. I know we passed time, y'all. It's all right. We're in the after hours. But it's like this. there were certain artists when I worked in California that would make us sign, NDA,
NDAs, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
and contracts because they knew before they even got on the premises it was about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like, you mentioned Kiss and like, Kiss was one of my clients, Metallica. And you have to understand with those type of artists, it's different than like, let's say Earth, Wind and Fire, Ozzy,
Mm-hmm.
because even though they draw a nice crowd, but Kiss and Metallica and those kind of, those big groups, draw like 20,000 people.
Right.
So the preparation is different. And I remember doing one for Kiss and all them, and it's like I would deal with these artists when they came in, when everybody came in, and it was I remember times where they'd be like, after everybody leave, I'd be picking up underwear and
Yeah.
pants, and I'm like, well, if your pants are here.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Well,
Like,
what you
did you
doing?
did you bring an extra set of leggings or something? Like where's I'm looking at blue jeans
Yeah.
and women blue jeans, and when I look, guess I mean, and a lot of these people are married, whatever. But
Right.
it'd be empty plates and wine bottles and beer bottles and pants and underwear, and
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but
But
I'm just saying.
celebrity ain't for everybody, and it definitely ain't for the faint of heart.
Let me.
Definitely.
I remember one time working at an Isley Brother concert. They were my client and Earth, Wind and Fire. And I remember this lady was climbing on the rail, and I said, "Ma'am, what are you doing?" She said, I gotta talk to Ron." I said, "Not today." She said,
Right.
I gotta talk to him. What can I do?" I said, "To who?" I said, "You're not gonna do nothing to me. Wait, get down. Go take your medicine. You people are crazy."
That's why I said when you don't,
Yeah, people have
if you
issues.
don't see, and you know yourself something wrong with you, but you still,
What is
you
wrong with you? And you, after a while, you get to the point where nothing surprises you.
Yeah,
That's why.
right. That's what I'm saying. Just
absolutely.
like all the athletes and everything else. I mean,
Right.
they got these groups, and what's the name? It's just,
Yes.
hey, we just do anything, like you say, just
What the
do
brand is
anything.
talking about? Speaking of names, oops, Auntie, I
But I
forgot.
tell you, girl, it's just huh?
No, I'm reading something with Brandon's type.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just
but yeah.
some people know they got a problem and some people don't.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't know which ones is worse.
Yeah. 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 But at least the ones, well, yeah. 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 And that's a whole
That's a
different
whole different
topic
thing.
right there. Because you
Yeah.
got people who just, they just out there. And then I have to tell other people, why you will never win an argument with somebody that's crazy.
Mm-mm.
And I've tried it, and you be almost brain dead by the time you finish. And they sit up there like doo doo doo,
I
and
know.
you just sat up here, you sweating, pressure 20, 200 over 200. You about to stroke out, and you arguing, and and you getting to the point where now you just it's beyond cursing. You just talking in another tongue.
And that's what I'm saying. We be
Jibber
thinking
jabber.
this everything is new under the sun. These people been doing this stuff since the beginning of time.
Oh, I let me tell you, I got some stories I had to tell y'all one day. Like, this is not even entertainment stuff, but it's entertaining. Where I've done, because podcasting and different when people, especially
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had people, one lady was like, I don't, I was accused of stealing, but I don't steal. I've murdered somebody. I was like, okay, thank you.
But I ain't stole nothing.
Wait, I
That's
don't
just minor.
steal. Here she go. I don't steal, but I've murdered somebody. And this is when I was like, okay.
Uh-oh.
No, I did that on purpose.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I
But
was
they
like,
was
what
like, uh-oh.
happened?
Exactly. I was like, oh. She was like, Miss Marja. I said, I don't know. No, I didn't hear that. Because I don't know.
Well, you know what? Okay. And so we're gonna leave that right there.
We don't
Because
we don't steal. That's what I don't steal, but I murdered somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like this. That's how you end. That's how you end the show. With y'all
Right.
remember that.
Yeah.
Brandon's everybody. We don't steal. We've now murdered somebody, but I
Well,
don't steal,
well,
doggone it.
well, I got the show running. I got the show running over here in the background. And that was cute.
I got that from Miss Martin. I don't steal. I don't steal, but I murder.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
murder somebody.
girl.
So we're gonna end the show. If you want to tell your little stories afterwards, that's cool, right? But we're gonna end. We gonna look.
Hey, y'all.
But it
We
can't
had
be no worse than what's the name? Clinton. I mean
Trump.
no.
He
No.
said, uh-oh.
George Clinton. George
Oh,
George.
George Clinton.
Oh my
We don't
God.
don't bring that up.
I ain't
Don't bring
bringing
that
that
up.
up.
Don't bring
Okay.
you saw the little thing they did on him, right? Did
The
you
No,
see it?
no.
They
documentary.
got a documentary on YouTube
I got a
about it.
documentary on
They got
George
a couple.
Clinton.
They got several of them, but one of them is probably worse than the others.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
And you know
Yeah.
how bad they say Ray
He,
Charles and James Brown were.
okay.
I think he rivals them. If not, matter of fact, he's worse than them.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
He's worse.
He's
How he
worse
treat
than when you say he's worse than who?
than how Ray Charles and James Brown treated their people.
Oh,
In
as far
fact,
as that.
Fred Wesley actually worked for George Clinton. The Horny Horns,
Mm-hmm.
they played
Okay.
with P Funk.
Okay.
So that's another story.
That is
But look,
Oh,
we're
that
gonna do
is
this.
another
We're gonna
episode.
do this. We're gonna end this show.
bye, y'all.
You see
I
how
don't
we was.
We just
We
gonna
act like
I
you
don't
home in the
steal.
kitchen for real.
I
right,
don't nothing else. You ain't got
right.
nothing else out here. We
Cause
don't steal.
y'all talking crazy.
I'll
Thank,
kill
thank,
a
thank,
pig.
Look.
I
thank you,
don't
Missy.
steal.
Thank you, Mickey, and you
Thank you,
too, Joyce.
Mickey. Mickey don't
Uh,
steal.
yeah. But look, it's good talking with you. We're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You don't. When I stop this, you don't have to get off yet because we're gonna
Okay.
stop. We're gonna
Yeah,
stop the
right. I
show.
got you.
We're gonna stop the show.
Like other people
We're
do.
gonna
You
do
be
like
like,
we're gonna do
okay.
like a Shannon Sharp do with his after hours.
Right. Share itself. Yes. I
Look,
love it.
thank y'all for listening. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
coming
much,
in.
Marjon. I'm telling you, I enjoyed you immensely.
Y'all take care. We gonna end this thing. We up out of here. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.